What's up everyone, this is Brown Girl Green, and today I want to talk to you about signs to spot greenwashing. So for those of you who may not know what greenwashing is, in my own words, it's essentially the practices in which companies or big corporations use words like sustainability and environmentally friendly and being green as a way to market themselves, but not necessarily to follow through and protect the environment. So they'll use, the benefits of being green without actually following through on their promises to actually improving the environment to be a healthier, better place to live. Greenwashing can take place when companies know that sustainable, natural, green marketing is what people, especially young people, love to see when they're buying products. I mean, sustainability has definitely been on the rise in the past couple years, and companies are learning that that means it's super profitable. So then, I kept exploring that over, the past couple years going into college when I saw everyone around me, shopping at H&M and Forever 21. And specifically with H&M, I saw so much criticism of them being a fast fashion brand. And then they launched this conscious recycled clothing program, but then there was nothing to really back it up, and they were still mass producing tons of clothing, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And so I realized that a lot of these companies, especially fast fashion companies, are coming out with these slow fashion or sustainable, shopping lines, but they actually don't have any reports or any sort of mechanism to back them up on it. So my first tip is read the label on the back of a product. So whether that be a food product or a shampoo or a body wash, if it says green or eco-friendly or an all-natural, actually read what it says on the back. Does it say sulfate-free, paraben-free, phthalate-free? Does it say it's free of X pesticide or chemicals or additives? Actually figure out what is it that you're consuming, putting on your body, in your body, and don't just buy into what these companies might market to you just because it sounds good on the outside. My next tip is actually figure out does this company have any sort of transparency report on their website? If they say that they're committed to sustainability, do they have an actual report on their website saying that they have these goals to reduce water waste or reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions they're releasing? Or do they even have plans to deal with things like textile waste, basically clothes that are going to end up in the landfill, or materials that aren't going to be used valuably in their supply chain? Do they have any plans to actually figure that out? And if they don't, pretty much a sign they're probably greenwashing. My third sign is just figuring out how this company is addressing climate change. Have they even talked about it? Is that something that they've even acknowledged? And if they're claiming that they're green or eco-friendly and making money off of that, but haven't explicitly said, we know climate change is an issue and we're gonna actually fix the way that we're producing things, from where we source our materials to how it's produced to how it's consumed and ends up either going into a landfill or back into the production cycle. If they don't have any of that, okay, I get it. People are restricted by the amount of resources, money, time, and labor they may have for that. But there's a certain extent to where you can let that go. I totally get it. For some small businesses, it might not be feasible for you to be there yet to fully understand how to source everything the best, but at least be honest about it, you know what I mean? And I think for a lot of these bigger companies or corporations, they do have the funding, they do have the resources to address their strategic plans around climate change and how they are going to produce goods and services to people that are actually going to meet the demands of the climate crisis. And if they're not, then they're making money off of using the same terms as businesses that are actually doing those things, that are actually fulfilling their promises on how they're producing things, on where they're sourcing their materials. So definitely watch out for that. If they're not saying anything about, environmental issues, you have to be skeptical. Number 4 is certifications. I would say that, again, this can be something that is really unfair across the board, especially for smaller businesses that do organically source their materials and are actually doing really good things for the environment. A lot of them can't necessarily afford to get these bigger name certifications, whereas big companies and corporations can just pay that off, can just be okay, I'm gonna get certified organic, or I'm gonna get certified for reducing my waste or being fair trade. And yeah, that's great. That's one great step that you can take, but that shouldn't be the end all be all. Just because you see that a company is certified for some things, don't fully buy into it. Number 5, if they just say that they are eco-friendly but don't have anything to back it up or have any proof of that they're just using these words to promote what they're doing, they're most likely lying about it. Saying that you're an eco-friendly mining operation or cigarette company is hella ironic. I'm get out of here, fool. Yeah, just use your common sense. If you think that something is literally a paradox, it most likely is. And number 6, when companies are basically saying that they'll do eco-friendly fixes LED light bulbs or do a beach cleanup, but then they in turn actually are polluting a riverway, or they're mining on indigenous land and don't create any sort of acknowledgement of trying to address the very real consequences on the environment that their company is producing, then you guessed it, it most likely is greenwashing. A lot of people don't really know what being eco-friendly means. It can be really confusing. So I understand why consumers don't exactly know when or why to hold a company accountable for greenwashing, because it can get pretty messy. So my recommendations from, the ways that I just identified you could spot greenwashing happening, I recommend you just check out websites, do your own research, educate your friends and family about whether or not a company that maybe you've been using for a long time, who maybe has claimed that they're eco-friendly and you learn that they're not, just teach your friends and family to just discern and know what's up, so you're not spending a bunch of extra money claiming that this product is actually good for you and good for the environment, when in fact it's just a marketing tactic. And then if you find out that a company that you really liked is greenwashing, I recommend emailing them, contacting them, create a petition campaign, post on your social media, educating people in your community and in your audience about a company that's greenwashing, identify exactly what they're doing, and call them out on it. Because honestly, people don't even realize how much power they have as consumers. And when we start to call that out, the more other people around us can understand and discern between companies they should support and who they should not support. So I just want everyone who's watching this video to think over what greenwashing means to you after watching this. I would be really interested in understanding your perspective on whether or not you've seen a company that greenwashing, what have been some challenges with you being able to call that out or name that. I would love to know, so please comment below. And if you're interested in finding out companies who don't greenwash, I actually have a Brown Girl Green scorecard where I've actually really vetted a lot of the companies that I've worked with and partnered with and have affiliate partnerships with. So if you check out the Brown Girl Green website or sign up for the Brown Girl Green newsletter, I talk a lot about different brands that I support who I do not believe are greenwashing. And so if you're interested in buying any of the products from those brands, I'll link them in the description below, and you can support me and the work that I'm doing in the process. So that's my update on greenwashing. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to subscribe, share it out. Please educate your friends and family about this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.